The Winds of Winter is taking forever, man. What's taking George so long?
I know, it's ridiculous. We should do something about it.
What do you have in mind?
Let's see. Have you ever seen Misery?
You want to kidnap Nerd Santa? Alright, so far so good, but maybe we had a few more dragons, maybe some ice dragons.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Maybe some more White Walkers as well?
Reveal that the Night's King is Jon's father.
Yeah, that's good. And then the Night's King can chop off Jon's hand, and then Jon comes back with the Jedi robot hands.
Right. Bring Snape back to life.
Give Tyrion adamantium claws.
None of this makes any sense.
Give Tyrion adamantium claws. Your beard smells like Cheetos. You haven't liked anything in a while.
Logan?
You'll probably hate that when you buy the Blu-ray. It's like, oh,
I didn't love Rogue One when I first saw it.
We liked it. We gave it an 8.
Yeah, and I would lower it to a 7.
Oh, a whole point.
That's a
Hey,
bad
man,
sense.
I don't just hand out points like they're nothing. Actually, I kind of...
I mean, you gave Ghost in the Shell like an 8. That was awful.
Did you see it?
No. I feel it. I feel it
You're
in my
inconsistent
soul.
with your scores.
Didn't you say you liked Amazing Spider-Man 2?
I did. But
That
I just
settles
really
that.
loved Andrew Garfield. I thought he was a good Spider-Man. And you said, right, he's a good Spider-Man, not a good Peter
He's
Parker.
not a good Peter Parker.
I
He's
think
not convincing.
the new guy is pretty
The
good.
new guy's perfect.
Tom Holland. I'm looking forward to it,
He
actually.
balances
Oh,
Peter
yeah,
Parker
the
and
20
Spider-Man.
minutes you saw him. He's perfect.
Well, he comes across as the nerdy Peter Parker, but he's also got the cocky
Plus, he's
Spider-Man.
actually, like, how old was Andrew Garfield? He was like 28
He
or
was like
something.
29, yeah.
So this kid is my age.
Yeah, he can pull off high school a lot better than Tobey Maguire, who was like 35. Oh, jeez. All right, so this is Game of Thrones. What? Is something to say?
No,
No,
just,
nothing. No. Game of Thrones Part 3.
just don't let
can you
anyone
just
have their
put?
own creative
Can you put down
output.
the paper?
Everything's-
I think there will be no conflict.
I agree.
Now hold your horses. All right. This is Part 2 of Part 3 because we did a previous recording that you guys will never see because my back is still hurting from carrying these two.
Oh my
It's
god.
ridiculous. I know, right? Jesus. I went to my doctor. He said, "What's wrong? What are you lifting
You're dragging it a little bit.
dead
Yeah.
weight?" Part 3 of Part 2 of Part 3.
No, it's just part 3. Take 2.
Yeah.
As they say in the
Part
bit-
3,
in
take
the
2.
biz.
Maybe you should get your terminology game up.
Yeah.
Stats, cut the feed. All right, we're back. We didn't really discuss this in Part 1 or Part 2, which you should go back and watch them. I'm terrific in those. Let's assume that Jon is a Targaryen. The showrunners have said we're going to see the biggest battle ever.
Yeah, and from the trailer, it looks like that's either going to be for Casterly Rock or King's Landing. But I still think they would go with King's Landing because I feel like Casterly Rock might just be a siege and overtaking just to take away the Lannisters' I guess, retreat point.
Yeah, I don't think the show is going to spend all their resources on the biggest battle ever for Casterly Rock, but
A place we've never seen before. King's
Right.
Landing, the fans are familiar with, so it makes sense for them to have the big battle for King's Landing.
so you think that it's going to be King's Landing. I think it's going to be King's Landing, but you don't think so.
No, I don't think it'll be for King's Landing because I don't see Jon going down south now that he's known what's going on in the north past the wall. So I don't see him going down south. And Daenerys, I'm pretty sure, is going to try to hit up King's Landing first before she tries to go anywhere else. I don't see them rerouting. Unless something convinces Jon to go down south, I don't think there will be a big conflict between Jon and Daenerys.
Well, you don't think he's going to go down south to...
He's very, they have bigger issues. I feel like no one really cares that much about King's Landing as when you think about White Walkers.
Oh, I mean, just from fuck the south, right? The north is where it's been at since about season 5.
I think Jon does go south, though. I mean, there's a set photo of him with Daenerys that might not be.
Oh
and-
my god. What a
What?
spoiler.
You
We're
said
just
this.
going to drop this
You said that in the video 1.
Go ahead.
That could just be like them on set hanging out. Doesn't necessarily mean they're in the same scene, but probably
They're
does.
probably in the same scene.
Yeah, probably in the same scene. So I think he'll go south and meet up with her and try to get her. Dragonglass is at Dragonstone. Davos knows that. So when he hears Daenerys comes to King's Landing with 3 dragons, I think that makes too much sense for him to go and try to align with her. She might actually want to go to King's Landing first, which causes Jon to go back north. He might try to align, but they might have different goals.
So you're thinking beginning of the season he goes south?
Yes.
And then maybe she says,
The
okay,
season
we'll deal
might
with
even
that.
start, depending on like if they start literally when season 6 ended. It might start with him already in the south, and then that just saves time because it's supposed to take weeks to travel, like maybe even months to travel to the south from the north.
Well, yeah, it took
So-
King Robert about 2 months.
Let's say they do a time jump.
Which, you have to assume that other things are going on. I don't think Jon wants the Iron Throne.
He hasn't demonstrated any kind of desire for leadership positions. It's just that other people think he deserves them, so he just kind of goes along with it. He has. I feel like he hasn't shown a lot of ambition.
He's ambitious, but not greedy. He's not looking for power.
I think at first, especially if he wants to hold on to the north, I don't think she'll be too willing to give up half her kingdom. Once she knows the threat, what's coming north, then she'll align with Jon, and something will. I'm not sure if they'll get married or not. I think one of them. I think one of them
I
will
hope they
die.
don't.
I think one of them will die before it all ends. So I don't think this will be a problem when it's.
The idea of them getting married makes me sick.
They definitely don't have time for another
I
wedding.
mean, Jon and Daenerys makes sense politically.
I guess.
What? One's will be the ruler of the north, one's the ruler of the south.
Well, Daenerys gave up the Iron Islands.
Oh, that's such a. Okay.
It's probably like, yeah, no. How south do you think the White Walkers get?
I mean, I thought they would at least make it to the wall by the end of last season, but
That's what we said. We said the wall was coming down, season 6.
yeah.
Or you said it mostly. I just went along with it.
No, that was your prediction.
I don't recall.
Play a clip.
Play a clip. Play a...
But I do think once Bran crosses the wall, I think the White Walkers will come. And it's only 7 episodes, so they could wait until the last episode of this season.
It's going to be tough when they get to the neck. What are they going to do at the neck? It's all swamps and mud and
I think
water.
you're just thinking too much over it. They'll probably freeze over it. I
Just
don't know.
freeze over it. Just go ice skating. So you think the big battle is going to be for King's Landing between Daenerys and Cersei?
Well,
That's what I think.
Did they say biggest or most expensive?
I think
Biggest,
Daenerys
most
is just
expensive.
gonna collapse
'Cause
Cersei.
if
I
it's-
feel like there's
It could be
nothing there.
King's Landing with the dragons.
I heard that she might be signed on for season 8.
Cersei, I heard that too.
Oh, so maybe she's walking out alive. Maybe she runs, but I don't know if I can see.
Well, then
Cersei
again,
running.
You have
Yeah,
to say
yeah.
that. If you say she's only signed on for season 7, that's just saying that she's gonna die. I mean, you can't.
Right.
If you're saying 8, you leave it open. I mean, you could say that she signed on for season 8, but not really. If you say she's only signed on for season 7, that's just you're telling us she's dead.
Yeah, from the way the story is going, I still can't see her getting out of season 7. I mean, biggest battle. What's the other side? Who is Daenerys fighting in this big battle? So it might be a battle for the North. That's
Well,
what you think it's going to be. That's going to be the Walkers versus the
Yeah,
North.
I think the North and the Walkers. It's gonna be something.
Well, you have two, it could be a pretty big battle at King's Landing because I think Euron will align with Cersei. You might have the sea battle at the sea at Blackwater, maybe another Blackwater battle. Then you have Daenerys' army going on the gates of King's Landing, and you have the dragon aspect of it.
Assuming that Cersei and Euron do align, it looks like she's going to split her army and keep Euron in the west to defend Lannisport.
Yeah, I mean, it'll make sense for Cersei to keep some of her forces out west just to protect. Lannisport is very close to Pike and the Iron Islands, so it makes sense for Euron to protect that area because if Daenerys wants to take Casterly Rock, they need to defend that area with the great fleet.
If the showrunners are saying there's going to be the biggest battle ever, we could assume that Euron maybe is victorious at the battle in the west, and maybe that's the end of Yara and Theon. And then Euron reunites with Cersei in King's Landing, and that's the big showdown. All right, so let's go to Varys. This is a character that we've basically ignored for the first 2. He's a character like Littlefinger that's been relegated to the background. Wasn't a major character in the first couple of seasons, but he was a supporting character. Now he's just there. You brought up the point that it would be cool to see Littlefinger and Varys. Littlefinger is just an evil character. Varys is a good character, and they're both fighting for the same thing.
I wouldn't say Varys is necessarily a good character. He's self-interested, but not to the same extent that Littlefinger is self-interested. Like, he sort of has a desire for the greater good or to see better things happen.
He's thought of as good because up until now, he's been supporting characters that we like. But some of the things he has done in the past doesn't necessarily make him a good character. As you would consider Jon as a good person. You don't really know what he's going at, but he helped Tyrion. He's friends with Tyrion. He's helping Daenerys now. But you don't think about all the things that he's basically done, how he's kind of helped and start a war in Westeros. Thousands of people have died.
Well, that's a dichotomy.
Just because he wanted Daenerys to become to lead Westeros, even though Westeros wasn't in dire need of a new ruler, because there's no way he could have known. He may have known about Joffrey, but how evil he was.
But Robert Baratheon wasn't necessarily the best king. He was bleeding the country.
Littlefinger was, but
right. But he was the king.
But you
can understand why he would want to change a regime.
It's been peaceful though. It's not worst case scenario where
I guess poverty is peaceful. That's a whole different problem.
The crown was in debt, not the lands. There's 7 kingdoms. If King's Landing's not doing well, over in the west they were doing well. The north was relatively okay. The Reach was fine. Dorne.
But compared to Littlefinger, his motives are bad. There's no question about that. He's all about himself.
Because he's about himself.
But Varys, he says he's trying to fight for the greater good, but their actions are similar, but their motives are...
But he has selfish reasons for having Daenerys take the throne.
So do you think that's his endgame, Daenerys taking the throne, or is there more to this character?
I think in the TV show, I think that's his endgame. We haven't seen enough of him or anything else to really kind of give him the different kind of motive that you apparently see in the books based on theories.
In the books,
Right.
I feel like he's more... I tend to agree with the Blackfire theory. In the book, his motivations are more self-interested. I think in the show, it'll be more he's a Targaryen loyalist, which he really has no reason to be. Because if he was really a Targaryen loyalist, then he would have never told the Mad King that Rhaegar was going to the 20 of Harrenhal to conspire to have him become king. Because Rhaegar would have been the best king. So if he's really a Targaryen loyalist, he would have allowed that to happen.
I don't think he's a loyalist. I think he's a pragmatist, where he sees Daenerys is the best choice to rule Westeros at this point. So he's just...
But wouldn't
throwing his
Rhaegar be
hat
the
in
best
ring.
choice to rule Westeros at
Well,
that time?
I don't think he came to that conclusion. He was still a young man at the time of Robert's Rebellion.
But he was still with the Mad King, and he still tipped him off. That's why the Mad King went to the 20 of Harrenhal.
I wouldn't call him a Targaryen loyalist. I would say maybe he just made a mistake, where he didn't think that Rhaegar would be fit to rule just like his father. But now he sees the way that Daenerys has been ruling over in Essos, and he thinks
He thought he had Targaryen aspirations before Daenerys started ruling, before she even had dragons.
At that point, he didn't know about that would have been a mistake as well. If he would have tried to get Viserys on the throne instead of Robert Baratheon, that would have been a huge mistake. He was essentially just a grown-up Joffrey. But I'm saying now he's been able to step back and analyze the situation and says, okay, Daenerys is the best one to put on the throne.
Why throw all your eggs in a Daenerys basket, betting that she's going to be much better?
I think it just might be
or
lazy
not
writing.
the Viserys basket.
I feel like they might have just dropped some of Varys' storyline threads and then never picked them back up, and so now he's just kind of there. I feel like it might just amount to nothing in the end.
What is he going to do in Season 7 moving forward? Or is this basically the end of the line? It's not so ridiculous that he's going to support Daenerys. It's not... What is he doing, this mad eunuch?
You mentioned before we started that the scene where he's with Oberyn in the throne room.
Right.
Besides, the absence of desire leaves one free to pursue other things. Such as?
And he looks to the Iron Throne, like what do most people want, and looks to the Iron Throne.
Yeah.
I guess maybe that could be in the back of his mind, him trying to take the Iron Throne, but I just don't see it happening.
King Varys.
I don't know.
No way.
I think Littlefinger would be king, even if there was no one to rule.
You must despise him. You're working so hard to undermine him.
Actually, I rather enjoy him. But he would see this country burn if he could be king of the ashes.
Right, that's what Varys says about him.
He'll be the king of ashes.
But Varys, wants a kingdom. He wants there to be subjects, even if he might not be that one who's actually king.
As for the Littlefinger character in Season 7, recently Sophie Turner came out and said Littlefinger owes Sansa a lot, so I think they can keep him in the fold and use him, but you're playing with fire. If you try to manipulate Littlefinger, that's not going to work out for you. So I don't see him getting out alive.
Well, that's why I would have rather Sansa in Season 5 actually stay with Littlefinger, more in the books, and learn the game from him, because that would have been much cooler to see there's background that she learned the game and use it against him. There's not much what he can do. If Daenerys takes King's Landing, there's no way he's going to be able to get the Iron Throne that he wants.
Yes.
And there's no spot for him going up north to fight the White Walkers. Unless he takes advantage of everyone going north and him slipping down south.
Yeah, it looks like I'm king.
I mean, that's the only scenario where I can see
As soon as the
it.
war's over, they just burn him alive.
Because I do think they'll find out sooner or later. Too many characters are coming together that know what Littlefinger is and what he did to Ned. So I do think his days are numbered.
Him and Varys are in the same boat in terms of their arc. There's not much to do with them anymore.
I hope they meet, though, at least one more time.
Varys and Littlefinger?
Yeah, just one last...
Well, who do you think's positioned themselves better?
Varys.
Yeah, Varys, definitely.
Yeah.
Littlefinger thinks he has his game. He thinks that he's right where he wants to be. There's just too much that the audience knows and that other characters know that it's not going to end well for him.
Well, Sophie Turner saying that Littlefinger owes Sansa something, that's in complete contrast to the books, because in the books, it's going to be Sansa that owes Littlefinger her life.
Well, Sansa, I mean...
Because he essentially saves her life in the books. In the show, he ruins her life.
Littlefinger saves them. The Veil saved the day.
Does that make up for being tortured and raped by
No,
Gendry?
I'm not saying that, but I would say Jon might owe Littlefinger something,
Or he can say, "Get the fuck out of my throne room. Go get him."
I'm sure that's exactly how he'll say it.
"I'm tired of fighting. That's all I've done since I left home." I think the difference with Varys is that you see the relationship between Tyrion and Varys, and that's what really helped him out, because Tyrion was able to get into the favor of Daenerys, and then now Varys is as well. Littlefinger never made those personal relationships. Varys was a more human character. Littlefinger was a bit more cold and calculating.
He doesn't build friendships. He builds like superiority over people.
Yeah, and partnerships almost.
He has people,
like what he does to the redhead.
Partnerships where he is. You might think it's a partnership.
What he did to Ned Stark in season 1.
Yeah.
Which is always blows my mind.
Never partner with Littlefinger. That's
right.
If anything's learned anything.
I told you not to trust me. I'm going to roll today.
Oh, God. They have one last interaction. Like, I think that'd be very cool.
Oh, look at you, Varys.
I think they have one of the most interesting dynamics of any two characters in the show between them. Like you said, they're both on opposite sides, but they play the same game.
That's I like that. I'm going to cut that out, and I'm going to add me saying it. So what would you take, a Littlefinger conversation with Varys or Sansa and Arya? No, Arya and Jon being reunited. What would you rather have?
I know last time I said Littlefinger and Varys.
There was reshoots, okay, people? It's still our product.
Whatever. Before I said I would I would take the Littlefinger and Varys conversation, but actually now I want to kind of see Arya just meeting her family again.
Yeah, you know what? I'm probably going to take Littlefinger and Varys. No, I take Jon and Arya.
It's very tough. I mean, Jon, that's the only one of the his family members that we've seen him connect with. And it was only one episode, like one scene.
And Bran. But not
Stick him
to
with
that
the pointy
extent.
end.
No,
in the show especially, because we saw the scene. What'd you say?
Stick him with the pointy end.
Yeah.
Stick him with the
Good
point.
advice.
Yeah.
But that's the only moment, there's Robb embraces him before he leaves, but we never.
Farewell, Snow.
Yeah, we don't really get like in the books you get the thoughts, the memories that they have in their chapters of them reflecting in the past about their family relationships. But in the show you only get to see him and Arya. Because even when he met Sansa back and they had no prior relationship at all, I was still like, oh my god. That's so happy.
These people.
But it was Sansa and Jon. Imagine
she
now
was such a douche to him.
Yeah, now imagine now at Arya. But I'm still gonna have to go Littlefinger and Varys. That's just too fucking.
They meet for the first time and Arya's like, for the watch.
How long it's been and where they are now and how they rose up and they're on different sides, and Littlefinger's now with the Starks and Varys is with a Targaryen.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
It's kind of like, oh, well.
And those were some of the best written scenes from the earlier seasons.
Oh, of course, yeah.
When they castrated you, did they take the pillow with the stones? I've always wondered.
Have you? Do you spend a lot of time wondering what's between my legs?
All right, so let's go to the Brotherhood. Brotherhood without banners. The last time we saw them was with the Hound, where they convinced the Hound to fight with them. So, I mean, obviously they're going north. Do you see them crossing paths with Arya, Melisandre? What is the role of the Brotherhood going forward? Are they just foot soldiers?
I think it's going that way. Like, I don't know what stories they can have other than essentially they're the vehicle for the Hound to get up north, and I feel like once the Hound starts doing his thing, we'll stop seeing the Brotherhood.
Well, what do you think their purpose was in the show as a whole? I mean, I know to come back, because I know what their purpose was in season 3. They had a role to play, but to bring them back now is kind of...
I think it's for the Hound.
For the Hound?
Yeah, because he has the scenes with Brother Ray, and he realizes that I can redeem myself by fighting against the White Walkers.
But you could have easily had him have that...
that moment by himself.
With Brother Ray. You don't have to kill off.
Well, maybe it has something to do with the Red God, because do you think Jon is convinced that the Red God is real at this point, that he's starting to favor the Red God?
He kind of got resurrected.
But he was a little freaked out by it.
Obviously. But...
Because he sends away Melisandre, you have her going south, you have this new Red Priest going north.
What new Red Priest?
Thoros.
It's not new. They've met each other.
No, but I'm saying for Jon.
Oh, okay. Well...
You psycho.
I don't know.
Do you think the fact that Jon was resurrected will affect him at the White Walkers in any way? Because I know they resurrect the dead, but if he's already been resurrected, what would happen?
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, he's experienced.
I feel like him
necromancy.
being brought back to life has to have some kind of significance besides just bringing him back.
Well, I think it was just a way out of his Night's Watch.
His vows?
Vows, yeah.
I think it was just bad storytelling.
I wish it'd be...
That was one of the most disappointing things for me in Season 6. And I love Season 6, but the fact that it wasn't more significant that this person was killed and then brought back to life.
He's an honorable man. You don't want him to change character and just leave the Night's Watch to go south after he's been so stubborn to do so in
You
the
think
past.
that's why George killed him off in the books? To leave the Night's Watch?
Yes. Why else would he?
I feel like there has to be some kind of delayed gratification that maybe it's not even in the books yet. I mean, I don't know how far the books go necessarily, but
Well, the whole thing with Jon was always kill the boy, become the man, and that was literally
what happened.
He gets killed, right? He's the Messiah figure in this show, and it's obviously going back to there's an old tale about some guy who was killed and then resurrected in 3 days. Was it 3 days for Jon?
I think in the books it could be more drawn out, because if you had Jon just sitting around corpse, just chilling for a whole season, when we all know he's coming back, it just would have been, I felt, wasted. So I think
he's going to be a zombie in the books. Well, like almost Stonehard, but he has his conscience. He can still speak.
Well, they say everything a little bit gets taken out of you every time you're brought back. Beric alludes to that. He might be a little different, but I haven't seen anything drastically change from his character before.
You think Arya and Gendry reunite with the Brotherhood? Because Gendry is coming back in season 7. Arya is coming north, and we see her in northern garb. So what is that interaction going to be like with her and the Hound?
The Red Woman. Beric Dondarrion. Thoros of Myr. Ilyn Payne. The Mountain.
Would you shut up?
I can't sleep until I say the names.
The names of every fucking person in Westeros.
Because this is a character that she had on her list. You could tell by the end of their adventure that she was beginning to care for him. But she doesn't mercy kill him. She just leaves him to rot.
Yeah, I mean, the Hound, he has very interesting relationships with both Arya and Sansa as well. So both the reunions it'll be interesting to see how those interactions play out. I think Arya, after all she's been through, going to Braavos and all that, I don't think she'll be angry or whatever, or she might be a little shocked, but I don't think she's like holds a grudge. She left him there to die, but I don't think she would have killed him on his own if that never happened.
It seemed like she left him because she'd rather deal with the uncertainty of him being alive than like knowing for sure that he was dead. Because like she didn't hate him, I think, by the end necessarily.
No, definitely not. She chose to stay with him over Brienne.
Come with me, Arya. I'll take you to safety.
Safety? Where the fuck's that? Her auntie Neri's dead. Her mother's dead. Her father's dead. Her brother's dead. Winterfell is a pile of rubble. There's no safety, you dumb bitch. You don't know that by now. You're the wrong one to watch over her.
But that's a good point. I've never seen somebody bring that up, that she didn't want to kill him because she wanted to believe that there was a possibility he was still alive. Because she was going to leave either way.
It was a pretty awful thing to do. Like, the dude was suffering. I feel like mercy killing would have been the right thing to do. It could go either way. Like, she didn't mercy kill him, but it also left the potential for her. Like, to think he could be alive.
Well, she's either a sadist or she wanted him to be alive.
She chopped up some dudes and put them into a pie and made their dad eat it. So Arya's got some issues.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons why she didn't kill the Hounds right there is because the showrunners wanted to bring him back later.
You know, this is when it gets to the territory where, I think season 7 is going to be done because they want to make money. Oh,
going out there,
fucking it up.
So I do think Arya.
Well, what about Arya and Melisandre? That's an interesting dynamic there.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to run into each other in season 7. I think Melisandre is going to head towards Dragonstone to meet with Daenerys to try to get in her favor.
That's what we saw in the trailer, that she was basically overlooking Dragonstone.
Yeah, it appeared to be Dragonstone. It makes sense, a Red Priestess, Dragon Queen coming to Westeros.
And Tyrion was ready to have the support of the Red Priestess and Meereen. So do you think they would take in Melisandre as an advisor?
I'm sure they will, but then again, Varys is not a fan of magic, so...
If we assume that Jon and Daenerys are going to meet up and Davos sees Melisandre, you think she'll just dye her hair? No, but that probably won't end well. But Arya, she said it looked like they were going to have a confrontation, Arya and Melisandre, but I don't know where that's going to happen.
Arya's very, there's the Shakespeare play, Titus Andronicus, and like the whole putting people into a pie and making their parent eat it is like that happens in that play, and the way it ends, it's like they all just kind of die. It's because it's a Shakespeare tragedy. The pie thing isn't, I feel like that can't be a coincidence if George has to be drawing something from
that's
that.
Not from George.
It's not?
No, that's D&D.
Then
it's not
have
Arya,
to be...
but it's like alluded to that the Frey pie in Winterfell, how I think it's the Manderleys.
Oh, yeah.
Then the fact that they made it so explicit in the show, I feel like has to mean something. I mean, if they want to draw something from Shakespeare, then whatever.
Well,
unless they were just doing it to do it.
The old tale of the rat cook, right? From the Night's Watch. That's where the story came from, I think.
Oh, with the rat cook, where he says that somebody invited somebody into their house and gave them
the guest
bread,
right, the guest right, and
then he cooked them up into a pie. Chef Arya with the pot.
Well, Melisandre.
I think that just going back to Arya for a second. We'll just act like you didn't say it. Yeah. I think that shows the pie scene that she's just gone. She hasn't gone bananas, but wow, she's changed from her
cold.
season 1. Yes, yeah.
But I feel like the potential for her that was always there.
Well,
it's like Arya's kind of like she herself was a weapon, and now she's like honed.
Yes. Yeah, like I'm gonna cut that out. Weapon, then was honed.
Well, you think that she's like a complete like sociopath now?
No, she's not a sociopath. You could tell that she still has her humanity.
Okay.
But she's obsessed with survival. She will take out anybody that ever threatens her.
Which makes sense. She's been on the run. I feel like she's the only character who's really been on the run the whole show.
And it's not like we've rooted for people who just kill people all the time. I think of like Dexter, the kind of same character that would just kill bad people. That's kind of like Arya. It's not like she's going around murdering innocent people.
She's Batman who kills. Dead parents, goes to train with assassins, comes back. She's Batman who kills. Like you said, she's not killing innocent people here. She does stab that little fat guy in season 1.
Batman, Arya, and Batman. Wow.
Oh, that would be a big 2. I would love to see an
Arya.
Arya
Perfect Robin.
As Stephanie Brown. Oh my God, we need to call DC. They're gonna be like, no, we'll get Selena Gomez. So yeah, that's the Brotherhood without banners.
I don't see them doing much. I feel like sometimes it's just easier to bring back characters the audience is already familiar with for like visual purposes.
I think they're just joining the All-Star team that's fighting the White Walkers.
And maybe they'll have some kind of moment when they die eventually while fighting the White Walkers, because I don't see them living for very long.
Beric never dies.
They all bloody die, except this one here.
We all die.
I'm thinking Thoros dies and then Beric dies, and he's like, oh.
No.
Well, you could think of maybe Beric might be able to, in the future season, give his
life for
the
somebody.
kiss of life to someone else. Where Thoros,
because we're not getting Stoneheart. No.
But also, again, I think it would be a little bit too much if that happens. Jon getting resurrected, just for the show aspect of it.
Right, because the show is very reluctant to bring in certain magical elements from the books, which I kind of enjoy. Some of the things like the glamour in the book, the whole story with Mance Rayder.
I actually enjoyed that very much in the book.
Well, you'd enjoy Harry Potter because it's all fucking magic all the time. I don't know why
I don't
you
know
don't
where
like Harry
you
Potter.
Everyone says from the last episode that I hate Harry Potter. It was just a joke. Come on, people.
No, but people hate you for that, and you should apologize.
Never.
Melisandre in season 7.
She left, right? Like, she's not with Jon anymore.
Yeah, Jon told her to get the fuck out of here.
Davos gave one of his best performances of the whole series.
You come back north, and I'll hang you for a murderer.
The anger in his... That was a fucking great scene.
Oh, but Liam Cunningham, so underrated in that show. I love Davos.
It was the only way.
You burned a little girl alive.
I only do what my lord commands.
If he commands you to burn children, your lord is evil.
He's one of the best characters.
I think he's top 5 character.
So save it for another episode.
Hot pie.
Hot pie.
The pie that was promised.
It makes sense for them to all run into each other again.
Lami.
Lami. R.I.P.
What the fuck is a Lami? What the fuck? I do think that's
deep cuts.
Something that would happen. Them meeting up on the road. The Brotherhood, Melisandre. What do you think Gendry plays in with the new season?
Hey, Thoros, guess what I did?
I don't know if Gendry's gonna run into them.
I don't like them bringing back. Let me say it one more time. I don't like them bringing back Gendry and Nymeria. It feels like, oh, remember Gendry? He was the
Nymeria. I think that's awesome. So don't take that.
Yeah, I want them to bring back Nymeria.
Yeah, because it will make you feel fuzzy in the inside. It doesn't make sense. There's no logical explanation that they would be able to find each other in
They're
the
fucking
north.
Connected.
They're not in the show.
You don't know that.
You think Ari's a warg in the show? You think they're all wargs?
They still have the connection with their wolves.
Oh, that's ridiculous. You've been
How is it ridiculous? You don't think Ghost and Jon? How did Ghost find Jon back at the...
Because he sniffed him. You think Nymeria's...
Sniffed him.
That's Arya.
Nymeria's
sniffed him.
Wait, where did Ghost find Jon?
Ghost left Jon, came back and saved Sam. Jon doesn't see Ghost again until, I guess, when he goes back
he's not a dummy.
To Craster's.
He knows how to get to
Sam. Oh, yeah.
But no way Nymeria... Where is Nymeria? She might be chilling in Dorne at this point.
If Drogon can go down and find Daenerys at
What? Wolves and dragons are definitely the same thing.
Yeah, wolves and dragons, same intelligence. He's like, oh, I'm getting pissed at her now too. We're opening up.
They have it's their connections.
What does the Maester say about dragons? That they might be even smarter than humans. Wolves, not so much. She's probably coming back, Nymeria.
It would be cool to see it. I wouldn't
It would
oppose
be
it.
cool to see it, but can't you see where I'm coming from? That
They
doesn't
kill Summer like that, they need to bring back another direwolf. Because I'm still pissed about
Oh
that.
yeah, talking about direwolf intelligence. Fucking jumps in the mosh pit of whites.
You know, those 2 seconds, that allowed Hodor to get to hold the door.
Those 2 seconds.
Big 2 seconds, underrated.
Yeah, don't.
It's like basketball where a tenth of a second can change the game.
Oh, Summer, just turn around and run, you stupid.
Should have zigzagged.
Well, that's Rickon. And Stark's quick tempers, slow minds. Name the character.
Littlefinger.
Damn, he's quick. So that's the Brotherhood. Now, you love Brienne.
I love Bran because I also love Jaime, and their whole friendship journey thing.
They're not going to get back together.
I know they're not.
They're never going to meet each other
It's just a hope I have. But realistically, I think Bran is just going to be chilling with the Starks up north.
Yeah, I think she's going to be going off on White Walkers.
I think
with
she
that sword.
may or may not try to return the sword because technically it is a Stark sword.
Yeah, technically it
and
is.
I think they'll have her keep it because...
He's waiting so long to make that.
Twice you stole my bits. Well, yeah, you do bring up an interesting point that Brienne's sword is actually Ned's sword melted down to give him to Jaime. So
Who's got the other sword? It was Tom.
It was Joffrey. I guess passed down to Tommen. Who knows? No one really knows in the book either.
Sir Pounce, maybe?
Sir Pounce, yeah.
Tommen's got hops.
It's interesting because she never really made a mention to like Sansa or Jon, like, hey, I have your dad's sword. She's like kind of hiding it in the back. It's like, oh, is that Valyrian steel? No.
Does Brienne know it is a Stark sword?
What does Tommen use? Mac
Did they
or
tell her
Windows?
explicitly?
It's yours.
I can't
It
accept.
was reforged from Ned Stark's sword. You'll use it to defend Ned Stark's daughter.
Jaime tells her
Yeah, he
that
knows.
you'll be
She knows.
defending Ned Stark's daughter with his sword when he gives it to her.
Well, I think with Brienne's honor, she will try to give it back. But they have the Longclaw now.
She tried to give it to Jaime after she met Sansa.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
True love.
She was trying one last chance. Like, well, I'll give him a sword back. Maybe she'll give me his sword in return. Hey-oh!
And that's part 3. That'll be the end of our channel. Brienne and Tormund, do you think it could happen?
No, I think that's just a funny thing.
Yeah, it's a nice little joke.
Well, Brienne, I mean...
Doesn't he have like a family?
In the books, yeah. In the books, he's got like a whole sitcom based on his life.
And he basically fucked a bear, right? That's another thing.
Well, that's the whole theory that a bear was Lyanna Mormont's mother, the old bear, the young bear, little
relax.
bear. You've read that theory, though,
Yes.
that Tormund is Lyanna's father. You haven't read that theory, have you?
No, I haven't. It's
Oh my
ridiculous.
God, I know a theory that Aaron
You
doesn't
said
know.
Lyanna is Tormund's father?
Daughter.
I thought you
Lyanna
said
Mormont?
father. I was
She
like,
could
what?
be his father.
Well, well, you're thinking about like interesting characters going north and meeting up. We had mentioned the Hound with Sansa and Arya, but the Hound and Brienne too. Last time they met each other,
Rematch?
Didn't leave at the best of terms. Rematch. Hound wins.
Brienne was smoking him.
He had a little neck injury.
He had a little neck injury.
Yeah, they were fighting dirty too. That was like deep down. They were fucking no holds barred.
Oh no, it wasn't even a sword fight. It was just.
But I think the Hound should be a better, fighter than Brienne. But in the show, Brienne's much better than she is in the books. And I think in the show, she could probably beat one of the best swordsmen in the whole continent.
Me, Andres, and Manny were having a conversation. Who would win, Brienne or Jon?
Brienne.
That's what I said. And Andres was like, well, Jon, he's a prince that was promised.
But
No,
Brienne is just, she's better.
Brienne would eat him.
Literally.
Yeah.
She's beaten Loras. She's beaten...
And Loras is supposed to be good.
Yeah.
Loras is one
really
of the better
good.
ones, yeah.
Rip Loras.
Jamie, but he
He's
was
ripping every
Jamie
dead
in
character.
chains, and he was in jail for in a cell for 3 months. He was weak.
No, I don't count that fight. Still a good victory though. To
Yeah.
beat an injured Jaime, that's still pretty impressive. I wish we could have saw a prime Jaime.
I wish that they did the thing with his hand that it moved, and it's not just like some weird kind of mannequin hand chilling on him.
What is
like
it,
Star Wars?
He gets a robotic
Anakin
hand.
testing out his
But
robot
like
hand.
you said that they're reluctant to do any magic things. That's what happens in the books, right? Like his hand moves.
No, it doesn't.
What?
No. You haven't read the books. Where is this coming from?
I want his hand to
You
move.
gotta stay off Reddit. There's no. That would be cool though, a magic spell where you like the golden hand moves.
I thought it did. I was like so positive that the hand moved.
Every other magic thing in the books, but a moving golden hand. Nope, that's where I draw the line.
That's
ridiculous. Yeah,
It's
Mance
unheard of.
Raider becoming somebody else, and then he's somebody else, and then he goes on a secret spy mission. That's fine.
So what about
So that's
the
Brienne.
Tyrell grandma who was like, I'm gonna get revenge.
Oh, we didn't actually talk about her.
Do you
last
think
time.
she's gonna do anything? I just remembered that right
You ever
now.
see pictures of her when she was younger? She kind of looks like Marjorie. It's crazy. Yeah, I think that house is going to support Daenerys, but I can almost see that character being excluded entirely. Or maybe she becomes an advisor.
Olenna?
Yeah.
But they focused on her. Like, they gave her a whole scene where she was like, where was she? She was
the
with the Martells.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like something has to come of that.
If Daenerys does take the Iron Throne, for even if it's just a moment, I think Olenna might have a seat on her small council, something like that. Not doing the politicking in the background, kind of like she's been the rest of the seasons.
That would be a hell of a small council. Olenna,
Tyrion,
Varys, Grey Worm,
Melisandre.
Barristan. Oh, wait.
Terrible, by the way.
The worst decision they ever made.
Terrible. I'm not going to get into it now, but come on.
They could have kept Barristan.
Barristan needs to go out better than a bunch of noblemen or knights. So that's interesting to tell. Interesting too. Also with the Martells, because if you guys didn't know, they killed Tyrion's niece.
Spoilers.
Whoa, I missed it.
Yeah, what the hell?
Remember the whole boat thing? Somehow they ended up on the boat with them, and
she was like, "Yeah,
I
know you're my uncle, Dad. Totally cool."
Yeah, that's a different
Uncle
one.
Dad, Uncle Dad, and Aunt Mom.
Yeah, but they poisoned her, and then the Sandsnakes ended up on the boat somehow. But I don't remember that.
Well, they need the Tyrell swords. So if Tyrion finds out about that, Tyrell, that's not the Tyrell, the Martell swords. Martell and Tyrell both don't have an heir right now. So
really? No one has a fucking
Seems
heir.
like the Martells are just a matriarch kind of thing.
Right.
That's the way it's
going.
going.
But they're all Sands.
If you think about it, there's going to be no heirs left in the big houses.
Well, Tyrion will have...
All right, the Lannister house. Might be the only house that lives on. Because if John's a Targaryen or he stays a Snow, he has no Stark children. Tyrell's done. Martell's done. Daenerys, if they do take the Targaryen name, whoever she marries, if she does have kids, it's said that she cannot have kids again in the books.
Baratheon.
That the dragons are the only children that she'll ever have.
Gendry might might legitimize him, put him on a dragon side.
Yeah, so I mean, realistically, and
well, that's happened before.
Theon can't, you know.
Well, Asha.
Rip Theon. Yara.
Yeah, but,
he's not dead.
But in
Yara.
in Westeros, the custom, the name only gets passed down from the male. So I'm just saying that the name Stark,
the
Targaryen,
times they are a change.
Martell are not going to be there at the end.
Well, it's happened before in Westerosi. Wow, imagine that. Westeros history, where it's just a new house. You know, the Lannisters didn't always have Casterly Rock. It was the Casterlys. It changes all the time.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's just a nice little thing I put out there. But
good for you.
Interesting to see though with Daenerys and the Martells that what decision she does make. Does she choose Tyrion's side of just prosecute them for killing his niece, or is she gonna want the spears more than she cares about getting Tyrion's revenge for him? At the end of the day, he's the hand of the king. I would assume that she would take Tyrion's side.
Do you see Cersei and Tyrion having a scene in season 7? Boy, would I love that.
Maybe.
I hope he's whipping a dragon. He shows up. If the biggest mistake was cutting off Rick Karstark's head, for the Lannisters, it was getting rid of Tyrion.
Kind of hope it's like kind of like a bittersweet like last goodbye, like where maybe she's dying and Tyrion's there and they kind of reflect on what happened and like how things have turned out.
That one nice conversation they had in season 2.
Yeah, I mean, just like not like where they're like reminiscing and like everything's good, but it's just kind of like
it's
ironic.
Tragic.
It's like an ironic scenario where Cersei is falling and her demise, and Tyrion's come up to hand of the king. And then, but I do think Jaime would be the one to probably kill Cersei and kill himself
with his moving golden hands.
It's gonna force choker. Yeah, as for the Greyjoys, you said that Theon can't have an heir, but Yara is going to be the queen of the Iron Islands.
But I mean, the reason Yara is not queen of the Iron Islands now is because they don't necessarily take genetics or family lines into account when picking a king.
And with the Greyjoys, I feel like that's another, you mentioned with Varys and Littlefinger, how they kind of just took a step back in their role in the show as going from supporting characters to kind of supporting characters. I think that's kind of what happened with the Greyjoys, because now they're in a storyline that includes Daenerys, Tyrion, Varys, and all these other main characters where they kind of take a back seat now.
Yeah, they're playing with the big dogs. But I think Yara could be a military commander.
She could lead the Navy.
Yeah, lead the Navy, because she's an expert at that. And I think that's where they'll get into the confrontation with Euron, who's another character where I have no idea why he's even in the show.
I think they'll address that. After the mistake they made with the Sandsnakes and everything like that, I feel like they can't do it again.
Is he going to whip out the horn? How would you lose your mind if he whipped out?
If like in the middle of the battle, he hears...
Yeah.
Drogon just looks at him, is like, hop on.
Saddle up.
Well, even
boy.
though the horn's supposed to kill you if you blow it, but
Well, he has other people do it.
okay. Here.
Hey, just blow this horn. It'd be fun.
Test it out for me.
Yeah, you want to be hand of the king? Blow this. Talking about the horn.
Shortest hand of the king ever. So when people first spotted this actress on set, everybody thought, oh, it's just a body double for Sansa because they both have red hair. The actress name is Megan Parkinson, and they say she's gonna have a major scene with one of the major characters. A lot of people are assuming that she is Alice Karstark, who was the only daughter of Rickard Karstark, when the guy that Robb beheads. The dumbest thing that anybody's ever done in the show.
Rip Robb.
Oh, what about not as dumb as Ned telling Cersei his big plans before?
It's the only time in fictional history where the good guy revealed his plan to the villain instead of the other way around.
Rip Ned.
Rip Ned, man. I wish I could have Ned back. Fucking love that guy.
Scene bean.
Wow, you're just on a roll today, aren't you? You use a Cruciatic's curse.
What's that?
Are you gonna watch them?
If you read Harry Potter, you would
know. Oh. 400 million worldwide. What do you think? You think
but
this
Jake
is
Hall won platinum without any features?
If I have to hear that another fucking time, what does that mean?
I have no idea. I just think it's funny.
I think it's got to be Karstark. I think that makes the most sense because the story in the books. We won't get into the books, but she goes to the wall and then Jon marries her off to one of the Thens.
What a dick.
Well, they start a new noble house.
No, but the Thens aren't really the most eligible bachelors in Westeros.
Well, I think he's going to marry her to
Were the
Tormund.
Thens the one that ate people?
Yep.
Yeah, they were the ball. You gotta try crow.
Classic
cannibalism.
What did he say to Ollie? Which I'm glad that happened now, looking back on it.
Oh, when he has him by the neck. Ollie, I'm sympathetic towards Ollie.
Fuck Ollie.
He's a
dude.
kid.
I just hate Ollie because that was Jon's last word instead of Ghost. But Alice Karstark.
Ollie.
Should have been Ghost.
Ollie. Ghost. I think she's going to marry Tormund instead, and that's going to be the pairing, in contrast to the books. Or she could be Jon Snow's queen. The North doesn't have an heir. Well, I mean, if Jon and Karstark get together,
then he's at least half a Stark.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a little underwhelming for Jon to come up so far and just bring his wife to be some new character. I feel like it has to be more.
There's no time to focus on a wedding. Like, I feel like no one should be getting married.
Well, they could do a shotgun wedding.
Because, people get married and then they die, so.
We have to assume that she's playing somebody major if she's sharing a scene with a major character.
Could that be that she is the head of
Recasting
Karstark?
of Egret.
Jon does have a thing for redheads.
Yeah, he's a redhead. That's why if Jon and Sansa get together,
no.
Ew.
It could just be just as simple as she's the head of Karstark and Jon's just trying to right the wrongs of Robb and bring the Karstarks back into the fray. And did I just say fray? And get the North together to rally and go north.
Every time we get this far into a video, I wonder, are people still watching? Oh, wow, you must like it. So, if you like it, might as well like it. Press the like button. And if you didn't like it, dislike it. I don't care. No, I do care. Don't do that. Subscribe too. I hate these things. Subscribe, subscribe, just enjoy it, okay? And see you July 9th.